Ivy, you really want to climb the ladder, but it's not so safe. Oh no. It's okay. Doors and stuff, doorknobs and stuff in this one house. Alright, James. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh, it's so lit up. This is amazing.
Although it's soft enough that it can wake up all of us.
It's more than I expected. It's like a fully lit room.
It is.
It totally woke up a wasp. I just saw him move.
What?
He pawed at his face in his sleep.
To see it. Oh, is she stepping on your foot? Sorry, baby. You okay? You okay? Hi, Mama Sheep. Uh-oh, you two are alone. Ah, gotta go, gotta go, gotta go, gotta go. Oh, count the food. Let's show you where we are. For reference, back there, that's the yurt. There's the new equipment shed and the old pink house. So I'm standing east of the yurt. You can see the animals in here in this nice paddock we gave them yesterday. This is what we're calling the Silvopasture. And what a Silvopasture means is a treed pasture, where you use trees at some density between, a couple of trees per acre and dozens of trees per acre, with the goal being that the combined value of the trees plus the pasture is better than if it was just one or the other. One big thing we're noticing during our summer drought is the treed areas. The shade from the trees keeps the grass greener. So just for your reference, where I'm walking is kind of in the heart of where we had that mulching machine come last winter and clear out really brushy, scrubby stuff. And here we're looking at an area where the grass seeding was nice and successful. You can see good amount of grass coming in, as well as blackberry. The goats and sheep should eat this blackberry and continue to set it back. And probably once a year I'll mow these kind of areas that still have blackberry making a comeback. Here's one of our trees that we've got a tree protector on. This is a black walnut that's looking really good. We've been watering them a 5-gallon bucket worth of water about once a week to get them through their first summer out here. And once they get well established with deep roots, they shouldn't need that anymore. And here's just kind of a look at the state of things. The pasture is much improved, but of course can continue to get better and better and better. Some spots have beautiful grass. Some spots didn't get any grass yet, but it'll come along. Just last week, Tina and I built that bit of permanent fence you see there, which would be our southern exterior perimeter fence. There's Tina and Ivy. And right now we're actively working on this stretch of fence. And between these two green posts here will be a gate that we can use to head down that way. And just down back in there is the creek down there. You down into it to show you the creek and Arya and James. Hi guys. There's the creek, still running pretty decently in the high summer. Hi bud. Just a second, bud. I used the skid steer mower and my chainsaw a little bit to clear paths like this just above the creek. And the idea Tina and I have is that just in the summer we'll use temporary fencing down near the creek and get the animals down in this kind of area where it's very shaded and green and, you know, at least 10 degrees, if not 20 degrees cooler than out in the sun during the summer. All this forage, and we'll be able to give them this space between the creek and our permanent fencing, but it won't have as frequent of a rotation. We want to leave it more wild, but it's great refuge in the summer. So we'll probably hit this area with the animals once or twice a year, specifically in the summer. Other times, as we do a lap around the farm, we would stay up there in the silvopasture to our right, but not give them this spot down here. And I'm just walking this way to show you, just this is kind of the forest road that runs at about the same elevation as the creek, and then you'll see that the animals have access down here. Oh, and there's two very good girls to visit us with waggy tails and smiles. Okay, so you can see they have both above the permanent fence up there and down here. We can give them one or both. Right now we're just doing both. Hi girls. Hi girls. And so there, that line heads down there within, say, 20 feet of the creek and turns right and completes a pen back there. So the animals are doing so good. Really happy to give them this great pasture in the summer. And as we get the rest of our permanent fencing built, it's really making animal moves easier and easier. So this pen we're looking at up here is a good example. Here's a piece of permanent fence running to our left. It ends at a piece of permanent fencing that runs up behind the pink house. We've got permanent fencing going behind it. And then we just needed to run one section of temporary fence paired with 3 sides of permanent fence to make them a nice big paddock. So really, really pleased with that. And when we want to move them to this pen, we add one more piece of temporary fencing somewhere out there, advance them, and they have another pen. And then the move past that, we don't build any temporary fence because our permanent fence at the edge of the property is way back there. So that last pen, we would just advance them into it. So we're really going to be able to do better with our moves. They'll take more time, and if we want to, we'll be able to move the animals more often because of that. And we really notice that first couple of days that we move them into a fresh paddock, the quality of what they get to eat is so high. They just gorge themselves. Some of the sheep look as wide as they are long because they just eat so much and their bellies get so big. And it's just so healthy for them to move them a little more often if we can. So we'll see. Our current goal, just with how busy we are, is once a week, but if we could increase that to twice a week, that would be awesome. And it'll just depend on how much good permanent fencing we get that we just simply cross fence. There's a big old sheep. We're all done working. It's almost 6 o'clock. Time to go have dinner. Here, we'll show you what's going on. There's this perimeter fence and another part of the creek down there. And so here you can see we've got the chickens free ranging again. It's working out pretty well. As long as we don't move that thing more than 50, 100 feet at a time, the chickens kind of follow along and go to bed in it every night. If we move it too far, we need to put up chicken fence again and trap them in for a few days to get used to it. And here's the animal support trailer, still working well. We lowered the minerals. The sheep were having trouble getting to it because sheep don't jump up and use their front feet to boost themselves up. So now all the sheep can reach it. And there you can see a glimpse of the shed and a glimpse of the yurt deck back there. And the animals were in front of us here, just below the yurt. How many eggs are we going to end up with today?
This will be, I think, 12?
12? Cool.
Or 13, yeah. Oh,
Oh, somebody pecked one?
one broken one.
So what else has been going on? We had the big pond digging event, and so the new pond is dug. The old pond is much smoother and better, and I'll show you a bit of clips of that. And we've still got work to do. We need to pick up some miscellaneous rocks from our pond close to the yurt. We need to seed some grass and throw some hay down as mulch. So those are the main things we need to do with the pond. Oh, and I'd like to create some fish habitat in the bottom of the pond close to the yurt so that we can stock fish as well. And fish habitat would mean some rocks and buried stumps so that smaller fish, prey fish, have places to hide so that bigger predator fish like bass can't just eradicate the prey fish. So that's the idea there.
Yeah.
The metal roof is on the shed, and so there's some more odds and ends to do, and then gravel to bring in for that, and that project will be done. And that really gets us to the goals we had for the summer, before summer ends and the rain comes. So it's been a big push, and my stress levels are definitely coming down because it feels like we've achieved what we wanted. So that's it. We'll just show you some clips of those things that have been going on, and hopefully at some point I'll have time to make kind of more dedicated videos of the shed build, the pond installation, that kind of stuff. And what else do I owe? We probably owe some general like state of the yurt video. And I need to do a follow-up of the worm toilet composting system, but long story short, it's doing really well. The second system is doing great. The warm weather helps with worm activity, but Really happy with that.
Yeah.
Okay, everybody, that's it.
Bye. Bye.
Bye, bud. Bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye.
There she goes.
Hey, oh,
It's all right. He can go if he wants.